Hello, I'm Maria Hall Brown, and this is LA Currents. Well, perhaps the best way to fight sexual, domestic, and interpersonal violence is to actually prevent it. Well, today I'm delighted to be joined by the Executive Director of Peace Over Violence, Patti Giggans. So wonderful to have you here.
Thank you so much, Maria. I'm very glad to be here on Denim Day.
Well, we are appropriately dressed for Denim Day. So I do want to find out about the organization, and then we can learn a little bit about why Denim Day has been created. But, you know, the name of the organization is Peace Over Violence, but that's not what its original name was. It's been around since 1971 and was built because of a very personal reason. How did this organization come into being?
Well, our organization, and we had a different name back then. It was the Los Angeles Commission on Assaults Against Women, or LACAW, as we were known. It was started in 1971, late 60s, early 70s, at that time of the violence against women's movement, the LGBTQ rights movement, civil rights. So they were pioneering feminists who actually had a friend who was raped on Hollywood Boulevard, and they had a first-hand experience about how she was treated by the police and going through the exam and all of that. And so they decided that they were going to really take this violence against women on, and started the first hotline in the country, the LA Rape and Battering Hotline, which we at Peace Over Violence are still running today, 50 years later.
You know, what has changed and shifted, and what are some of the issues that you had to step up and handle or help and address since those early days?
Well, there's so many when you think of 5 decades of us providing hotline and counseling and support groups for sexual assault and domestic violence and child abuse. And so part of what happened was there was, over time, there was a lot more collaboration, with government, with police, with law enforcement. There was a lot of cross-training, and we were on a mission, and our co-conspirators in the movement were on a mission to change the culture. But there's still so much to do. So many people are still vulnerable to these kinds of violences.
That's one of the things that's a little terrifying, although, wonderful that these cooperative efforts have been, taken up, and that there's more of a spotlight shown on these issues and everything. But why, after all this time, where's the cornerstone of the issue that we can't seem to resolve?
We're still flying the plane while we're building the plane.
Right.
So as we make some progress in one area, we're discovering other deficits in systems or in human behavior. The fact that it's the causes of violence against women obviously has to do with sexism. It has to do with misogyny. It also has to do with poor education and a lack of understanding about roles. So the more progress we make, we also discover that we have more progress to make.
The scope of what Peace Over Violence has been able to do over the last 5 decades, as you said, is it exponentially grown as the needs have been brought into light. So what are some of the great things that you're doing?
Some of the great things that we've done is that we've helped put prevention on the map and prevention education. Our methodology, and now so many people are doing it, is you can't start young enough to teach kids that their bodies belong to them. But I think that the fact that we are now able to talk about these issues so much more, that's been huge.
I know, because it was an issue of shame for a long time, especially with things like domestic abuse.
Yes, exactly. For both sexual assault and domestic violence, shame. You feel that you did something wrong. Why is this man treating me this way? Why is this person treating me this way? Is it my fault that I was raped because I didn't lock my window in the summer heat? These are the things that go through people's minds, and they take on their own inner shame, and then they're blamed when they start to tell their story or they want to report their story. There's so much blame. We ask, that's why one of our themes this year for Denim Day is believe survivors.
Yeah, Denim Day.
Yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I think that there is a really disorienting backstory to Denim Day, which goes along perfectly with what you were talking about victim blaming. So Denim Day began because
there was a case in Italy where a Supreme Court judge overturned a lower court's rape conviction. The rapist was 45 years old, and the young woman, I think, was 18 years old. And the judge decided, now he was convicted, and he was in jail. The judge decided that because she was wearing tight jeans, the only way that the rapist could have gotten the jeans off was that if she helped him. Therefore, the judge decided it was consensual sex. This is back in 1998, 99. And there was an uproar in Italy. It happened in Italy. There was an uproar, and the female parliamentarians wore their jeans on the steps of the court in Rome. And then this went viral. At the time, we didn't use the term viral.
Right.
This was broadcast.
Lots of people found out about it.
Right. And in Sacramento, our assembly and senators wore their jeans in solidarity with their cohort in Rome. And then I saw that on TV. And it was like a moment, and I said to my staff, I said, look at this. This is an opportunity. We need to debunk all the myths and the misconceptions and the lies about sexual violence. And we should wear jeans in solidarity with that young woman in Italy as a way to attract attention to this issue. So because of that was just one of the myths, just one of the myths, the clothes that someone is wearing. There's so many myths and lies that are, unfortunately, like I've been working at this for so many years, and I hear them again, I say, wait, didn't we take care of that?
Conversation leads to action, action leads to change, and I think that's what your organization has definitely been getting out
and
there.
What's so interesting, and it's been really helpful, is that media and movies and books in the last 10 years have taken on these issues more than they ever have in the past. And that's encouraging. That means the marketplace, the public sphere for talking about these issues is growing.
Right, and the courage of the survivors willing to share their story. There's
Absolutely.
something probably very healing, I imagine, about that too, and you've probably been witness to that.
Yes, and it's so important to bear witness to that. And I think what's important, and I would love your viewers to know, that we get calls from people who were assaulted 30 years ago,
Sure.
20 years ago, and are just now beginning to tell their stories and are willing to reach out and are amazingly practiced in resilience, but yet there's still something that's been missing, and they want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And they want to heal from the rest of it.
Right. All right, well, if people want to help, people want to volunteer, people want to share, or maybe need to expose something that has happened to them, what's the best way for them to get in touch? Because not only do you have the phone and the online, but there's also physical places they can go.
Yes, we have 2 offices in Los Angeles County, one near downtown LA and one in Pasadena. So no matter where someone is in LA County, there are resources for people to go to. And you could go to peaceoverviolence.org and find out where all the resources are and how to get in touch with us and the other rape crisis centers and the other domestic violence programs. And I'm very proud of that I've been at Peace Over Violence for 35 years, and one of my proudest things is to be part of building up that network that we have in our county.
Thank you so much, Patti. It's been wonderful talking with you.
Thank you so much for having me.
And that's a wrap on this LA Current.